Hello guys, so moving on with our data types in Python, we have covered this number data types and now we are going to cover this sequence type, particularly this list because this string, list and tuple, they themselves are a topic. So in this particular tutorial, I'll be going through this list data type. Okay, so this video might get a bit long, so just stay with me. Okay, let's get started. So just another why we need list. As you can see, what is list is? List is just used to store similar data types all together. If you have similar data to store, you can use list to store all of them. But why did we need list? So for that, let's understand a situation. Suppose a person came and told you that he has a score for 30 teams and he needs to store all of them and find their average. So what and he asked you to write a program. So what are you going to do now? You are going to write a variable named score1, then score2, then score2, and continue that up to score 30. So if he has 30 teams, you are going to declare 30 variables, and for all of those 30 variables you will individually write this input, so that the user can give the input of those scores for 30 teams, and then you can go on and calculate the average. But you can understand like how this thing is getting tedious. Like you have to write this variable 30 times, and on top of that you have to write this input command also 30 times. So what happened if the user comes and says no, I don't want 30, I want 50 or 100? So now it's a headache to go through this and again create more 70 or 20 80 variable names like this, and for each of them you have to write this input. So to tackle this type of situations only, we have list. So what we can do with list is, let's see in the next slide. So this is how we declare a list. That's it. This is as simple as that. If you see scores and then list, here I have written this for loop and then the input taken from the user. So if you can see, I have just used this for loop because we know what for loops is and how it works. So keeping that thing in mind, we have written this loop. So suppose the user asks you to enter 30 teams. So what you can, instead of this 5, you can provide 30. Okay, and you have declared your list here. Just provide the name of the list, then equals to, and then this square brackets. This has initialized your list, which is empty. Okay, that is, it has nothing. Now for each of this loop, what we are going to do, we are going to take an input from the user about the score. Got my point? Now if we are taking the input from the score, we are storing in this temp variable. Now we want to add this temp or whatever score that the user has provided into this score. Okay, score list. So how are you going to do that is using this command, score dot append. So what this append does, it adds, if you have this list, it adds to the end of the list. Okay, so suppose you have temp and this is empty and the user has provided, suppose the first score is 1. So what it will do is, it will check, okay, this is the list, it will add 1 to its end, so 1 will be added. Then again the loop will come for the second time. Again the user suppose has provided the value of 2 for the second like 2 as a score for the second team. So what this append will do, it will see that okay, now the list is 1, it will append 2 at the end of the list, so it will convert this as 1 comma 2 with a comma separation. Okay, so this way you this loop will go on for 5 times, and each of those times the user will give input and will store this in the score variable, which is our list variable. And when we'll print score, we'll get something like this, 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5. Okay, so this is how list works. Please keep in mind, Python doesn't restrict you from providing or restrict you about the types of data that you are storing in the list. You can store together either int, float, string, or even a list inside list. But it is common understanding that we should use only a single type of data inside the list, so that it will be easy for us to manipulate that data or use that list. But again, like, this depends upon the situation or whatever the code for which you are writing this list. We're using this list, that depends upon the code. So just wanted to say that Python doesn't give you any restriction that you have to use either integers or in the list, or you have to use if you're using float, you have to use all float. If you're using string, you have to use all string. Nothing of that sort. You can use any type of data inside the list. Python doesn't restrict you from that. Okay, so now we have seen list. Now the question arises is, if we have suppose inserted all the data in the list and we have got this list, How are we going to fetch the data? Okay, so for that we have this indexing and slicing. So let's see what this is. So in list we can get the element by index. So let's suppose and each of the list always start with the index of 0. So let's understand this with an example. Suppose you have marks list. So here we have a list of all the marks that we have got. Now what I mean by index is just the position inside that list, and that position starts with 0. So this first one is a 0th position. This is the first position, this is the second position, this is third position, this is fourth, this is fifth, sixth and seventh. So if you want to get suppose this element, so how we can do it is you can just write marks, then under square bracket you can provide 0, that is the index that you want, and then you can get the value of 8. So you are doing the like the name of the variable of the list, and then provide your index in the square bracket, and then you can get that particular value at that particular index. So if you have provided 0, you will this Python will go and see, okay, what is the 0th index and what value it is there, it will return that value. If you do marks 2, so it will go to the second index. So second index is what? 0, 1, 2. What is there? 5. So it will return 5 here. Okay, so this is how we can retrieve data from a list by using indexing. And always remember, indexing always start with 0, not with 1. This is always start with 0 and not with 1. Okay, so keep this in mind. What is slicing? So if you want, let me clear the screen first. So suppose if you want to get some portion or some section of your list, so that thing you can get by using slicing. Slice by the name itself, like it will slice this list into the portion that we want. So how we can get this thing is, see, we'll provide the name of the list, the variable name, then we'll provide square bracket, and then we'll provide the start, colon and stop. Okay, so this way you can provide, okay, this is the starting index and this is the last index. Keep in mind that this is excluded, this last index is excluded. So if you are doing something like this, marks, suppose 1 to 5, so what are all the indexes it will take is, it will include this one. So it will take 1, it will take 2, it will take 3 and it will take 4. It will not take 5. 5 will not be taken because this thing is excluded. So if you write 1 comma 5, 1 colon 5, what are you going to get is the first index, second index, third index and fourth index. So what you will this thing will return is 7, 5, 6, 6. So this list, this new list, keep in mind, this new list, a new list will be created. Inside those lists, these values will be put and a new list will be returned, so that we can assign to a new list if we want. Okay, new list is equal to this. We can also provide strides in this list part. So what you can do is start, stop and stride. So suppose if you have this list and you have provided the stride of 2, suppose if you have done something like this, 1 colon 5, but I want a stride of 2. So what it does is, it will first take this first value. So it will take 7, that is okay. It will go up to this. See, let me write the index here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've written 1 to 5, but it will go up to this 4, only, and it has started from 1. Now what it will do is, it will take a stride of 2. So it has printed 7, so it will take first stride, then it will take second stride. So which values have reached now? 6. So it will take 6 now. Now again it will take 2 strides. So it will take 1 stride and then 2. Now nothing is there. So this will be the new list that will be returned to us. Okay, so keep this in mind. And we can use the slicing technique to get a new list hold together, just like as we want to copy a particular list. Okay, so if you provide something like this, marks, then just a colon, so what it will do is, it will take everything from this marks list and just copy it to here. So this way we can copy this whole list into a new list. Okay, so let me show this example in the code, and this thing will be very clear. Okay, so let's see here. So Python, let's see. So suppose I have created a marks list, 5 comma 6 comma 8 comma 1 comma 2 comma 3. Let it be like this. Let me add one more value, 1 9. Okay, so here, so I have created the marks list. So first we'll see indexing. So if you will do marks 0, so what are you going to get? See, the first value you will get, that is 5. Now if we'll do marks, suppose I want the fifth index, so that I'll get. So if you count the fifth index, this is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So with fifth index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See here. Let me show it. Yeah. See, this is our 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. So 3 is our 5 index, and hence we have got our 3 as a value here. Okay. Now, if you see here, if I try to do slicing, so if I'll do marks and provide the start one as 1 and the end one as suppose 5. So what it will do is, it will go search through it and see, okay, where is the first index? So this is the first index. Then it will do, okay, up to which part it will go? It has to go up to 5. So it will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5. It means it has to go 1 less than 5. Okay, because this thing is excluded. So it will get 6, 8, 1, 2 that we got here. 6, 8, 1, 2. Similarly, what we can do is, we can also provide this the first value as well as the second value, but there is also an function value where we can provide only the first value and not the second one. So let me show it to you. If I don't provide the first value, so what it will do is, it will by default take 0 as an index, like it will start from 5. So now let me enter. You can see that it has started by default from 0 and it has went up to 5 minus 1, like 4. That is why we get all these values. Okay. Similarly, we can also not provide the end one but provide the starting one. And hence, see, we will start from 1, and if we don't provide anything, it will take the whole array, like up to the end. Hence, it has started from 6 and went up to 9. So, as you have seen, like if you don't provide the first part, it will take from 0. If we don't provide the second part, it will take all of them. And I have not used strides here. So if you can see, I didn't use strides, and let me use strides also. See, I have not provided anything in the middle, so it means that it will take up to the end and will take a stride of 2. So we have got 6, 1, 3. So it has started from 1, taken 2 strides, then 1, then 2 strides, then 3, and then end. So we can either provide stride or not provide stride. If we don't provide stride, it will take a stride of 1. If we don't provide the second value, it will take the end. If we don't provide the first value, it will take the starting. So if we do something like this, we don't provide the first value, we don't provide the second value, and we also don't provide the stride. So by default, what it will do is, it will take initial, it will go up till the end, and the stride will be 1. So this is something like we'll get the whole array as it is, and on top of that, it is returning me a new array. So you can do something like this also. See, you will get both the same result. So we can use this functionality to copy our array. So if you can see, I have done marks, then double colon, let me do this, and enter. Now if we try to print new marks, see, the whole array is as it is printed. If we check the IDs of this new marks and marks, see, the ID of new marks is this, and if we check the ID of marks, see this, see, these two IDs are different. But if we have tried to copy this, copy marks like this. Okay, so now let's see what is the ID of marks. This is the ID of marks, and if we try to do the ID of copy marks, see, both the IDs are same. So by doing this assignment, we are not actually copying the list to a new list. We are actually just pointing this copy marks to the same memory as this marks is pointing to. So keep in mind, we can use this particular concept to copy a particular list to a new list, and this assignment won't work. This is just like pointing to the same memory location, but having two variables pointing to the same memory location. Okay, so this is just I wanted to show. Now let's go back to the PPT. So this indexing and this thing is over. Now let's move to the next PPT. Okay, so list comprehension. So what is list comprehension is, See, we have previously seen how we have created lists. We have provided the square bracket and we have created list like score, SCORE score, and we have provided a square brackets to initialize the list. There are also some powerful ways to create lists, like powerful ways. So this list comprehension is one of those ways to create lists. If you can see, say this thing. What we have done here is this list one is a variable. You can see square brackets, so it will be a list. But how we are populating is this: we are going over the range of 1 to 11, and for I, which is the loop variable, we are storing that value in the list. So what this is going to print it will print this value 1 comma 2 comma 3 dot up to 10. So our list will be created with like these 10 values like this. So this is list comprehension. This is a way to create list, but much powerful way, where we can also provide values in the list while initializing this particular list. Okay, now let's see the second example. Suppose if a person wants to tell you, okay, give me all the squares of all the values from 1 to 10, square of all the values. So what you can do, instead of writing this for loop, like for I in range 1 comma 11, then initializing a list, suppose list 2 is equals to, you have initialized like this, then you written for I in range 1 comma 11, then colon, then for each of this I, what you are doing is you are storing list 2 dot append I square 2. So you have to write this whole thing to get a list of squares of values from 1 to 11. But instead of all these things, we can achieve the same thing just in a single line. We are creating a list, and for each I in the range of 1 to 11, we are storing its square in the list. So what this will print is, it will print 1, then 4, then 9, and dot up to 100. Okay, so this is a very powerful way to create lists called list comprehension. Let's see two more ways to create lists. Is, see, suppose the person wants to say, okay, I want all the even numbers from 1 to 20, with in 1 to 20 including all the even numbers. So what you can do is you can write something like a list I, so it will go for I in range 1 to 20. So every I within the range of 1 to 20, for each loop it will check whether I is percentile 2, whether it is divisible by 2 or not. If it is divisible by 2, that point will be, that a number will be included, else it won't be included. Okay, so what this will give is, it will give 2, 4, 6, 8 up to 20. Please keep in mind, we can use this concept also to show you that we can use if else. I have showed you this example. This can also be done something in this way: I, for I in range, you start with 2, go up to 21, take a stride of 2. That's it. You don't have quite any if condition or else condition. So that's it. This way also you can do this, but I wanted to show you that we can also use if with list comprehension, hence I have shown you in this example. Okay, now see how we can create a two-dimensional array or two-dimensional list. So let's see here. If you can see, I have provided a list, so this will be our main list, and inside the list I am creating a small list again, where I and j, where I is in range 3 and j is in range 3. So what it will do is, for each I, it will go inside j and it will create a value. So what this will do is, it will create like this: I will be 0, so 0 for each I, there j will go 3 times. So 0 comma 0 will be there inside the list, then 0 comma 1 will be there, then 0 comma 2 will be there, and then it will go out of the loop, again come to I will be incremented, then again 1 comma 0 will be there, 1 comma 1 will be there, 1 comma 2 will be there, and it will go on up to 2 comma 2. So this way you can create a two-dimensional list also with list comprehension. Okay, so and there are some built-in functions and methods for lists also. So let's see those. See here, you can use len as a function, sum, min, max. These are functions provided by Python itself, which we can use to work with lists. So suppose you have this list as marks, So you can get the length of the list, like how many elements are there, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 elements are there. So you can just do len marks and you can get the length of value as 8. You can do sum and you'll get a summation of all the values present in the list. Please keep in mind, while doing the summation, these values should be either integer or float. Okay. Then you can also get the minimum by using min and maximum by using max. Moreover, there are also some methods also provided for the list. We have seen this particular one, append x. Okay, so we can use it like this: marks dot append. See, when you're using methods, we have to use the variable name, do a dot, and then use that particular method. Okay, so methods are just simple functions. These are functions, but methods are functions which are declared inside a class. This class and objects we'll discuss later, but just keep this in mind that these methods are just functions that are inside a particular class. Okay, that's it. Similarly, we have this sort method. This will use to sort that particular this list. So if you have 8 7 7 6 6, after sorting it will become 5 6 6 7 7 8 8 9 after sorting. Then this count is used to count the number of occurrence of this particular value. So if 6 is there and you can see like here 2 values are there, so it will make the count and it will return 2. Marks.reverse, what it does, it just reverses the list. So if you have list, suppose 1 2 3 4 is your list, it will reverse it and will return 4 3 2 1. Remove, what it does, it removes that particular element from your list. So suppose if you want to remove 6, it will remove the first occurrence of 6. So it will remove this particular element and not this. This will remain as it is. Then we will see marks.pop. What does pop does it? Here it doesn't takes into consideration the element, it takes into consideration the index. So if you say like pop 2, it will go and check, okay, what is there in the second index. So this is index 0, this is index 1, this is index 2. So it will remove this particular value, that is 5. Okay, this is the difference between remove and pop. Remove takes the value or the item itself, and marks take the index. It take index. Okay, what marks does is, if you see this insert, it will go at the index 2 and it will insert the value 12. So it will see, okay, this is in 0 index, this is 1 index, this is 2 index, so I'll have to insert here. So it will do something like this: 8 7, then it will insert 12, then 5, then 6 6 9 7 8. So it has inserted 12 at index 2. Okay, so this is what the methods we have with list, and this is the what are the functions that we have got with list. There are still many more functions available, or very good what you can say modules available which can be used with list. So what I have done is I have written this codes for each of those examples. I will provide a link in the description where you can go and check these files out. So I have written the code for comprehension, like create list comprehension, creating list, and how using this random module to with a list, how you can use it with that. So I have written both of these files. I will provide the link in the description. You can just go download these files and just see that. It will like you will get a very clear idea what I have told in the video, and this will most probably help you understand it better. If you have any doubts, please comment in the comment and just let me know, like if you have any doubts, and if you like the video, please like and subscribe to this channel. Okay, thank you so much.